my neighbor had called and she was crying, and she actually saw our place go up in flames.
More than 150,000 people are out of their homes as massive wildfires continue to ravage the Los Angeles area. At least 11 people have died, but the officials are expecting that number to rise. The Palisades fire is the biggest of at least 6 major fires burning in Los Angeles County. It moved closer to residential areas earlier this morning, triggering fresh evacuation orders. For more on all of this, we have reached Nicole Maul, the national spokesperson for the American Red Cross, and we have reached her in Los Angeles. Nicole, thanks so much for making time. I imagine it's an incredibly busy one for you.
Thank you for having us.
So, Nicole, lay it out for us. As the Red Cross, how are you all operating on the ground? What are the services that you're providing?
Well, right now I'm in Los Angeles at one of the several shelters that have been opened in response to the wildfire. And you can see behind me, it's an active site. And right now we've got folks coming in and out. And as it was mentioned earlier, new evacuation orders are still taking place. So while it has been several days, we know just the sheer amount of people who've been impacted. The first priority is making sure that they have somewhere safe to stay, right? When you evacuate from your home, you may not have a complete plan yet, but for folks who are evacuating, we want them to know that the Red Cross can be part of your plan. And so folks who are staying here have a safe place to sleep. They've got blankets, they've got warm meals, and as we try to just bring some normalcy into their life.
What is it like when people arrive at the shelter where you're volunteering? What do you say to them? What do they say to you? What is a typical situation like?
When you come to a Red Cross shelter, you're going to be greeted by some of the friendliest volunteers around. And really the most important question we're going to ask is, are you okay? And that's a very powerful question to ask someone who has had their lives upended in terms of being evacuated. And so folks are getting settled in, right? They're bringing in the things that they were able to take with them. And our volunteers have shared with me that they've met just a wide-ranging group of folks from multi-generational households, young folks, folks with pets, seniors. And so we truly see that disasters do not discriminate in terms of whose lives they affect. And it's a very sobering reality when we, learn what these folks are actually faced with.
Tell me about the volunteers who are not at the shelters. Are there people operating out on the streets? Are they helping to gather? Give us a sense, because I understand there's more than 200 volunteers just dedicated to this wildfire situation with the Red Cross. What's the kind of work that they're doing?
Absolutely. And all of our work is happening in the shelters, right? We have, our primary focus is making sure the shelters are safe. So we've got a morning crew, a night crew, and everyone in between. So a volunteer might be helping check someone in. They may be working a feeding station. They may be passing out bottles of water, or they could be providing mental support or spiritual care, right? Just being that person that one of our residents can talk to and share their emotions with. But behind the scenes folks who are working on logistics and helping set up new shelters as they open, or even as simple as helping bring in new volunteers. So we've got folks who are both on the ground, who are working virtually, who are coordinating with local, state officials. And so it really takes a large group of folks, and the Red Cross is going to be here for the long term.
Nicole, can we drill down a bit on something you said there? Because you mentioned the spiritual support, the emotional support, because oftentimes in situations of loss and grief, and certainly if you've lost your home, that's significant. But there is this sense sometimes where people are saying, well, at least you're still alive. Well, at least it could have been so much worse, and it's almost denying that pain that people are going through. So how do you manage hitting that right balance of being empathetic, but also maybe pushing them towards, I don't know, that things are going to be okay?
Well, really, we focus on taking it one day at a time, right? And everybody who's staying at our shelter, whether they have suffered a loss and they know that, or there's still some unknown factors, one thing we have in common is that folks have all been evacuated, right? And so you have a large number of people who've gone through the same exact shared experience. So as our volunteers and partners are talking with residents who are staying with us, we know that tolls happen and are taken way heavier on different folks, right? And so every feeling someone's going to have is valid. And really, it's only been a few days, right? We know that this has been so prominently featured, but realistically, it's only been a few days. And so folks are really coming to their own in their journey at different paces and different speeds. And I'm really just proud that we have folks here on the ground who can help provide that support.
One of the things of this, if one can say, sounds crass, advantages of the fire being in and around the Los Angeles areas, as you mentioned, how high profile this is, how much coverage it's getting. The NFL is donating $5 million. Fox Corporation is donating $1 million. So many celebrities are coming forward. So many celebrities are advocates for the Red Cross. So I wonder, as that money flows in, what are going to be the priorities in the coming days and weeks and months for you all?
As the situation really starts to evolve, and once we better understand which each family is going to need, right, what varying levels of loss have occurred, what the needs are, we've got to start building recovery plans. And I'll tell you, this isn't going to be something that is going to be finished in a couple weeks or even a couple months. It is going to take a significant amount of time. And the thing about recovering from a disaster of any scale is that each family's journey is highly individual, right? The needs that you might have if you're a parent may be different if you're a college student. And so we want to meet with those people, learn what their needs are and how we can connect them with the right recovery resources. And it's going to look different for everyone. So we know that there is a lot to unpack here. But what we do know for certain is that we don't want folks to walk this journey alone.
Nicole Maul, you're doing important work, you're doing tough work, and we thank you for it and for your time.
Thank you.